What happens when you try to live as your best self? Not just in theory, but in practice. For 7 days I tried. I set aside comfort. I pushed past excuses. I became, at least for a while, the version of myself I thought I should be. The healthiest, most productive, most disciplined, most focused version. And it didn't exactly go as planned. Some parts were surprisingly beautiful. Others? Frustrating, hollow, even exhausting. But the experience taught me more about myself than I ever expected. Let me take you through it. Before I began, I had to define what this ideal self even looked like. You know that version of you in your head? The one that wakes up early without complaint, exercises every day, eats clean, tackles every task with a sense of purpose? The one who doesn't scroll mindlessly or avoid hard conversations or leave dishes in the sink overnight? That's who I set out to be. I wrote it all down. Wake up at 6 a.m., no snooze. Daily workouts, even when I don't feel like it. No phone for the first hour of the day. Meal prep, a strict schedule, and absolutely no procrastination. Every action, every hour intentionally lived. Day 1 felt like a revelation. I woke up before the alarm. The world was quiet, untouched. There's something sacred about those early hours. Like you're stealing time from the universe before the noise kicks in. I stretched, I moved, I wrote. My head was clear. For the first time in a long while, I wasn't reacting. I was choosing. The second day had the same glow. There was energy in the structure, a kind of momentum that made me feel unstoppable. It was intoxicating. But by day 3, the cracks started to show. The tiredness set in, not just physical but emotional. The relentless expectations I'd placed on myself began to feel like a cage. The version of me I was trying to become? He was kind of relentless. No room for softness, no space to simply be. I started missing little things, slipping, feeling guilty, and then trying even harder to make up for it. There's a moment when you realize that your pursuit of discipline can turn into a kind of self-punishment. That maybe, just maybe, you're chasing perfection not because it makes you feel alive, but because it makes you feel worthy. By day 5, I was asking myself hard questions. Who decided that this is what better looks like? That perfection is early mornings, green smoothies, and color-coded calendars? Is this actually what I need? Or just what I've absorbed from a million polished posts and curated habits? Because here's the truth, I was getting things done. I looked more together than ever. But inside I felt distant. From myself, from others, from the messiness and spontaneity that usually makes life feel real. On day 6, I stopped trying so hard. Not in a giving up kind of way, but I gave myself permission to breathe, to listen, to sit down without a timer, to walk without purpose, to just exist without optimizing every minute. And in that pause, something shifted. I started to see the difference between what genuinely supports me and what just looks impressive from the outside. Some habits stayed with me. Waking up early, not always at 6, but earlier than before, still feels like a gift. Movement in the morning clears my mind. And staying off my phone for the first hour, that's been life-changing. The noise can wait. But the rest? The rigid routines, the pressure to be endlessly productive, the guilt for every missed checkbox. I let it go. Because I realized that the best version of you isn't a performance. It's not about how well you stick to a plan, or how perfectly you mimic someone else's success formula. It's about what actually makes your life feel meaningful. The best version of you might not be the one who gets everything right. It might be the one who knows what truly matters to them, and what doesn't. The one who can say no to what drains them, even if it looks good on paper. The one who moves through life with intention, not obsession. We're so used to chasing an idea of ourselves, polished, optimized, always improving. But sometimes the real growth happens when you stop chasing and start listening to your energy, to your limits, to what feels real. You don't need to become someone else to be worthy. You just need to become more you. So here's what I'll leave you with. Don't build your life on someone else's blueprint. Don't chase a version of success that looks good but feels empty. Don't measure yourself against highlight reels. Instead, find what works for you. Maybe it's slower mornings. Maybe it's long walks and messy notes and conversations that spill past midnight. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's yours. And that's enough. The truth is, you already know what your best self looks like. Not the one they told you to be. The one who feels like you, when you're not trying to impress anyone. When you're just honest. Start there. Keep going. And let the rest fall away.